Hey everybody, just hanging out on my patio while it's raining here in Greenville, South Carolina. But I wanted to give you some insights on how to use your Healy in slightly outside the box ways. So one thing that I found recently that's been very effective, and I've been doing it quite a bit, but I wanted to share with you how I'm doing it, is to use some of the things in the resonance scans to come up with some targets or issues to work on with other energy healing modalities. So for example, if in the Healy you run Bach Flower remedy scan, for me always the mustard comes up a lot, which has to do with melancholy, and it's been very consistent over the past year. That's very typically that comes up, and it's a fairly high percentage. And so I run the after that comes up, I run the vibrational protocol for it, but it still continues to come up. And recently, I've been thinking about doing. Recently, I finally did it. Is I took the mustard, and I'm an emotion code and body code practitioner, which is a way to use muscle testing to track down hidden emotional issues and reset them. If you want, side note, if you want more information on how to learn how to do muscle testing, I do have a course on that, and also community on that, on from the basics to very advanced ways of doing muscle testing and energy healing at teachmefrequency.com. Anyways, a lot of you already know how to do muscle testing and know how to do emotion code work who are watching this. And so what I did is I took mustard and I muscle tested my level of consciousness regarding my relationship to my need to this. And it was actually some very interesting stuff came up that seemed to be very foundational, from a very young age, that really would tend to rewire my emotional health or my perspective on life, having to do with relationship with my dad. So when I took that, and it was actually started a fairly low level of consciousness and raised it, I didn't actually just stop there. I also looked, you see on the on that particular scan in the Bach Flower, it will not only tell you which Bach Flower remedy to use, but for example, what essential oil, what a gem thing. I think there was an orchid one as well. And so I muscle tested not just regarding mustard, but I also muscle tested my level of consciousness regarding I think the essential was muscal. So I muscle tested my level of consciousness regarding that, and that was low, and I worked through some more issues. Then the other thing I worked on was the connection to this particular type of orchid energetically, and worked through doing that as well. All super interesting. And the next day, the next time I ran the scan, mustard wasn't even on there at all, which is very unusual. So it looks like it can be very helpful not just to run scans in the Healy and use the vibrational protocols or the pink dot microcurrents to help heal things, but also to use what comes up in the scan as goals or ways of quantifying different other areas of energetic health, and using other tools that you might have in your toolbox to help resolve it. So for example, I'm an emotion code and body code practitioner. I do a lot of muscle testing with like the map of consciousness, which is a way to quantify different levels of consciousness. And so that's what I use, but you might have some other tools. And especially if you know how to muscle test, which is, definitely a superpower you want to develop, you can take that muscle testing ability, see the thing that comes up in your scan, and figure out what else you need to do energetically to resolve this issue that keeps coming up in your scans consistently for you. Anyways, hope that's helpful. Hope you have a wonderful week.